Welcome to Bourbon School. I'm Marianne.
And I'm Brian, and today we're going to talk about some things that we really don't like about bourbon culture. Things that are just annoying. Yeah?
Yeah, stuff that really is like when people are talking about it, you're like, you're so FOS.
And most of this really has nothing to do with the whiskey.
Yeah, it's just people being jerks.
Coming right up.
Here we go. Okay, B.
Yes.
Today, we're really going to be addressing bourbon culture.
Yes.
And the things that really piss us off about it.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. And doing this for like 3 years now, I feel like we've had enough exposure to all types of people in the bourbon community and all types of experiences in the bourbon culture where we can really pinpoint things we don't like. This is not coming from experts.
No.
It's just coming from people who, these are things we've kind of seen, experienced, and
talk about, and our husband-wife confidentiality. And now we're going to talk about it with you.
Now it's all coming out. Okay.
That's what she said.
All right. So let's start with bourbon snobs.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
There is a lot of kind of snooty snobbery around bourbon culture that we don't really subscribe to. Like somebody's been drinking for like 6 months, and they're all of a sudden an expert on every kind of bourbon, type of bourbon, bottle of bourbon.
And what they taste in their bourbon.
Oh, the flavor notes.
Shoe leather, tennis shoes.
Yes.
I'm doing a lot of shoes there. Shoelaces.
I'll go thematically with you, racquet balls.
I see what you did there.
Yeah. But yeah, I just feel like there is so much of this like, well, I'm an expert. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be 100% honest. I think when we started this channel, I started to fall into this a little bit. We made a video and I was very much like, you shouldn't be doing this or don't buy this. And I immediately, when I watched that video back, I was like, I don't want to be that guy.
No, we are still 3 people filming YouTube content in our basement.
Yes. And so is everybody. It doesn't matter if you're us, if you're Bruzel, if you're Randy from Bourbon Real Talk.
You're just still real people. You're just people.
Yes. We're people sitting in our house talking about bourbon and making judgments based on our own personal palate.
That is exactly what I was going to say. It is so subjective.
Yes.
I mean,
absolutely.
there is no hard line. There's no hard truth here. There's no absolutes in bourbon.
Right.
And so the people who proclaim or self-profess to be bourbon experts, those...
Fred Minnick. Go ahead.
I can't deal with the snobbery of it. It's just not for me.
And in the end, this is all about just enjoyment and liking what you drink, drinking what you like. And like, we don't need to flex our like amazing palates.
Yeah. Even though mine is better than yours.
It's true. I have admitted that 100%. Both ladies are better than me. But the snobbery around bourbon is number 1.
Yep. Okay.
Go.
The next one is the obsession over rare bottles. Guys, this channel started with the ethos that we were not going to spend anything more than, or initially was going to be $75 a bottle, right? And now we've upped our game to $100 a bottle.
Big leagues.
Yeah, I know, we are. Although this past weekend we did get a special bottle.
We did.
Anyway, neither here nor there. There are people out there who think that their rare bottle bourbon collection makes them the king or queen of all bourbon collectors.
Right.
Give me an effing break.
Well, and I think there's a place for rare bottles.
Of course.
There are people out there who are just like...
They're buying to amass a collection.
They are, yes. And in the end, they just want to have the collection and not the enjoyment. And the other thing, and we're going to do a video in the future about our collectors ruining bourbon. And when we say collectors, it's kind of like people like this who are stockpiling these rare bottles in the hopes of cashing in on them eventually, which is, in our opinion, a big no-no.
And just like our friend Brian Fisher says from Buffalo Bourbon Enthusiasts, bourbon is for sharing.
Yes.
Crack that bottle, drink it up, enjoy it with friends especially. Is there anything better than having a nice pour with a group of friends?
Right, exactly.
Come on.
And crack that special bottle.
Yes, it's meant to be enjoyed. Don't collect it. Don't flex your rare collection on us. You know why? Because if you do, I'll say, oh, that's nice, and move on.
Yeah. Then we'll go drink something that's easy to find.
Yeah. What do you got?
Okay, so the next one we have is the bourbon-only mentality. And this is, I guess it's not necessarily I mean, you might prefer bourbon more than any other whiskey, and that's just fine. I mean, I don't like rye. I don't drink rye.
Nor do I.
And I would say I primarily drink bourbon, but there seems to be an air about some people where if you're not drinking bourbon, you're not really drinking whiskey. And I'll tell you what, you're shutting yourself off to a lot of really awesome bottles of other types of whiskey.
In particular, we are big fans here of Irish whiskey.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. And the other thing is you're wrong. Like to make the statement that, you know, bourbon is really the only real whiskey to drink. There's so much variety out there, and some you might like and some you might not like. Like, I don't like rye, but I do like Irish.
Right.
I don't like Scotch. I generally don't like single malts, but I've tried Japanese whiskey that I really like. So like penning yourself into bourbon only, especially when bourbon itself is kind of penned in
by the restrictions that is put upon it.
All you're doing is cutting yourself off from tasting some really great whiskeys.
Now, I do have to be honest with you.
Okay.
In my personal opinion, I would prefer to drink bourbon over anything else.
Same.
I'm not opposed to trying new things,
Right.
but really my go-to is bourbon.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what I said as well. Like, bourbon is my favorite, but I would never cut myself off from trying other things because I'm a bourbon drinker.
No. Okay, so the next one actually really coincides a lot with what we were just talking about, the rare finds.
Yeah.
It's using your bourbon as a status symbol.
Oh.
Look what I found.
Yep.
Look what I just got.
Oh, let's try some.
Nope, not opening it. You know, it is the hunt is fun, and I will tell you this from firsthand experience. Back in December, when I was looking for that George T. Stagg for you, and I finally got my hands on one, that was exciting. And it was exciting because this was a bottle that you so very, very, very much wanted. You're not looking for a ton of those kinds of bottles, but this George T. Stagg was something that you really wanted.
Well, and also, we've opened it, we've shared it.
Oh, yeah.
I don't bring people down here and then like point to the George T.
No.
Stagg and be like, look what I've got. That whole idea of having a bunch of great bottles on your shelf that you're not opening and not sharing and basically making your bourbon collection into a museum. Why? Like, what are you doing with that?
What purpose does it serve?
Yeah.
And I realize that my last two really do coincide with one another. They're very similar, but also like this one really deals with the hunting.
Yeah.
You know, more
well,
than
one is really about collecting and like trying to cash in on that.
Yes.
The other one is about buying stuff that you're never going to open and just have it on your shelf just so you can say it's on your shelf.
Yes.
And it's funny, we just talked about this today in Brian's Buffalo Bourbon Enthusiast group. I made a comment and I said, if you're buying a bottle without the intention of opening it, then rethink why you're buying it.
Yeah.
Like, there's no point. So, yeah, I'm with you on that one, 100%.
Of course you are.
All right, so number 5 is the bourbon police. And these are the people who tell you how to drink your bourbon, like what you should be drinking. You should never put your bourbon with Coke. You can't drink it in a cocktail. You've got to drink it neat. You've got to drink it with a big ice cube.
Do you mean you should not put your bourbon, make a Stag in a Coke?
Well, no, I did that. But these are the people who are like, who might look down their nose at you if you do order an old fashioned at a bourbon bar instead of ordering a neat pour.
Mind your business.
Or you do put ice in your bourbon rather than drinking it neat. And we've talked about this several times. Actually, very recently on some Bourbon and Bullshit episodes, we've talked about, you know, putting the ice in your bourbon or drinking in a cocktail. There's no right way to drink your bourbon.
Right.
And anybody who tells you that there is, you don't need that kind of negativity in your life.
Or that kind of friendship.
Right, exactly.
Now, in jest, I always tell people, oh, man up, get that ice cube out of your glass. Like, I do that all the time.
Yes, absolutely.
But I really do not care how you drink your bourbon. Right. My preference is neat.
Right.
But if our friend wants to come over and add a couple ice cubes to their pour,
I'm not going to tell them, no, you can't have ice.
Get out of
bourbon.
my house, you can't have ice.
For the most part, I don't care how you drink your bourbon. Drink it how you want it. And like I said, anybody who's telling you you're drinking it the wrong way, they're incorrect. So just brush them off.
Show me again.
Brush them off.
Okay. Last one, number 6.
Last one, yes.
The myth that bourbon has to be expensive to be good. You know what, guys? I'm going to be repeating myself here. We have a philosophy here. We try to stay in the under $100 category.
Right.
Now, there are times where I am the impetus for pushing Brian to make a deeper pocket purchase. And that's when we really stumble. Like, this channel has really helped obviously open my eyes to bourbon and searching for things and knowing what's rare and what's cool to have and what I think you should have. And sometimes we stumble upon a cool find and I'm like, nah, B, we need to buy this.
Yeah. Yeah, we have broken that rule a couple of times.
Yes. But for the most part, and I keep a spreadsheet of this, we stay in the under $100 mark.
Right.
And I can tell you that our collection here is delicious.
Yeah.
We have a wonderful, delicious collection, and it's not all over $100. So it doesn't have to be expensive to be good.
And our scale of what a budget bottle has slid up a little bit. Just recently we made a video about stop buying budget bottles. For us, kind of a budget bottle starts at around $40. Like Knob Creek is kind of the standard for a budget bottle for us. And it goes up from there. That doesn't mean you shouldn't buy other bottles.
No.
I just, in the impetus behind that video was, don't fill your shelf with that stuff. If you want to throw a couple of budget bottles on there, absolutely, because they definitely have their place, especially for a newer drinker. Or if you have newer drinkers over, it's a good way to offer them kind of their first pour of bourbon.
Their introductory pour.
But yes, I mean, you don't have to spend a lot of money, because I don't think $40 is a lot of money for a bottle of bourbon. And like Knob Creek is like chef's kiss.
Oh
it's
my
everything
God,
you want.
so good.
So yeah, we do not believe in spending a lot of money here. We have, for the most part, stuck to that rule pretty well.
I would say 90%.
I can name 3 bottles we bought over 100.
Okay.
It's the Jack 12 that we just got, the George C. Stagg, and the Knob Creek 15.
Yeah.
Those are the only bottles we've ever bought owned for $100. And we've never really, well, we reviewed the George C. Stagg, but we've never really put them out here like, look at these bottles we got, because we do want to kind of stick to that ethos here.
Yeah.
So
that's what we're doing. So there you have it, guys. Those are some of the things that we really dislike about the bourbon culture. But we really do love bourbon, and we love the community.
But sometimes it's just good to take a step back and kind of make it more fun and less about gatekeeping and flexing what you have.
Yeah. So
let us know in the comments, what are some of your things that you hate about bourbon culture? Maybe it's 2 amateurs sitting in their basement talking about bourbon. Bring it on.
Yeah. And maybe they agree with everything that we've said.
Could be that too.
Let's go with that one.
Okay.
Especially if you agree with us, comment below.
And if you like the video, guys, please like, subscribe, share, and hit the bell for notifications.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
So you never miss another episode of Bourbon School.
Cheers.
Cheers.
With our cheapy pour.